Hey there, Boston, and thanks for joining us for another roundtable discussion on One-on-One, the Hue Effect. Today I'll be talking to two up-and-coming voices in comedy to discuss the comedy scene for women at BU and how times have changed in the world of comedy. First, we have Vice President and active member of Boston University's stand-up club, Avery Linder. Welcome to the show, Avery.
Thanks for having me here.
Also joining us is esteemed member of Boston's premier improv team, Liquid Fun, Georgia Daly. Welcome to the show, Georgia.
Thank you. I'm also the treasurer.
I'll note that for next time. How would you describe your humor?
I can start. So I feel like I have controlled chaos. And so I think I just I love silliness. Like, that's my favorite kind of humor, is just like pure silliness. And I also have a hint of sarcasm too.
Is it Doris that's out there?
Should I say yes or no? Don't tell her that I'm here.
Yeah. No!
Very cool. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing stand-up for quite some time now. This is my 8th year in the industry.
It's me, Slutty Anne Frank, here to do some jokes for you tonight. I know, it's really accurate, isn't it?
And I think it's changed a lot. Like, people ask you, oh, like, what's your thing? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to put myself in a box necessarily, but I do like doing kind of storytelling-esque stuff.
And how does that kind of like humor make y'all feel? Is there like an empowerment to it if you were telling like some kind of like raunchy story? Is there like what's the vibe? What do you feel up there on stage?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword because people kind of generalize if you do raunchy stuff as a girl, you know, oh, you're that kind of comic. I think it's fun because for so many years when we're told not to joke about stuff like that, when it is funny and can normalize a lot of stuff, I also think it's fun to make, you know, an audience of a bunch of dudes listen to a 10-minute long story about bad Tinder dates, stuff like that, you know, something they wouldn't normally sit through. So it feels kind of awesome being a woman in a position of power, having to be on a stage, like physically being higher up. It feels nice.
And I feel like it is empowering because I can go on a stage and do anything I want. Like, I don't feel like like the other day I had a show and I was Fergie and did a cartwheel on stage, and like I don't know what other like area in life you can just go do that, and so it's fun to have that outlet where I can just do whatever I want.
Sure. Well, I mean, kind of on that note then, like, I don't know how y'all do it. You go up on stage with your team but no script, and you go up on stage with like a script but no team. I don't know. Take some huevos that I don't think I have. Like, how do you do it? What's the origins, you know?
I feel like it's funny. Avery and I talk about this a lot together. Just like, I love having a team because I know that like everyone there is trying to make you look good and I'm trying to make them look good, and you can focus on lifting up like the other people around you instead of, am I doing a good job? How did I look when I did that? Or like, what did that sound like? So I think it's a lot less pressure.
Dude, I think it's more pressure because I'm like the Avery thing, you know, which sounds like kind of narcissistic, but
Can I butt in?
Oh, please.
What's the Avery thing? Is it the sense of humor you're talking about, or is there some kind of like character there?
I think some stand-ups, you know, like Larry David, kind of do a character where they'll do something and then they get off stage and it's not them. The Avery thing is just how I will say something, throw in a little New York slang, you know, stuff like that, just dialect, pacing, stuff like that. But like, dude, I could never be Fergie. I can never like.
But that's so much scarier because the audience is like, I feel like there's an anonymity behind acting through characters that like nobody actually gets to know who I am as a person. Like, it's kind of nice that I can just do whatever I want, and like after I leave a show, it's not like people learned a lot about me. Like, they didn't learn a lot about me as a person. They might have learned a lot more about my subconscious than like a stand-up show. But like, that is so much scarier to like put your real self on stage.
I would say like
Well, Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just going to say that it sounds like they learned that you can do a cartwheel and that you can do an impression of Fergie.
Yeah, that's true.
But I want to change gears.
please.
Who are some of your inspirations in comedy? I'm curious.
When I was like in 8th grade, I think, I got interviewed for something. I said like Louis C.K. was my favorite. Can't say that anymore. Now, yeah, exactly. Then I was like Dave Chappelle, dude. I'm diehard Dave Chappelle. Love him to the end of time. All this stuff. I did think it's interesting that a lot of my favorite comedians are guys, which is pretty weird because like, when I was younger, I feel like a lot of them were women. Like I loved Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Mindy Kaling, like all those classics. But now, and I've had to do like some deep diving, I think my number one has got to be Joan Rivers. She was like really the pioneer of being the raunchy woman in comedy, of doing that stuff when no one was doing it, just being an absolute savage, destroying everyone. She's my number one inspo.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll take it.
All right.
What about you, Georgia?
I feel like we're lucky because I feel like when we were kids, there were a lot more women to look up to. And so I think of Kristen Wiig as like the first person that I was like, whoa, I want to be like that. That seems so fun. And then I absolutely love Tagnotaro.
These were some really good answers. I gotta say, great comedians. But now I want to change gears yet again. So nowadays, and you mentioned Dave Chappelle.
I did.
Nowadays, there's the comedy scene is kind of butting heads with like this kind of new sensitivity that kind of fills the air in society at large. Do you think that the BU doing comedy at BU has helped prepare you for this professional world or just kind of the outside world and its sensitivities?
I feel like you just need to, you can say whatever you want, but the audience can also say whatever they want about you. And like, it's common, just trust your intuition and don't punch down, punch up, I feel like is the best advice. But also, it's weird because it's just hard. It's very hard to navigate, and I don't know if anybody has the answers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the scandals that are happening with cancel culture right now are all these stand-up comedians are getting canceled, a lot of like people's favorites. But at BU, well, at Stand Up Club, we say you're allowed to talk about literally anything you want. Like nothing is off limits, but it better be freaking funny. And, I think the ideal comedy world is where, anything should be able to be joked about. And I know even saying that some people might think is controversial, but you have to understand, like as Georgia said, the audience has the right to react however they want. You just have to make sure, like, my stuff better be good if I'm going to be talking about some racy things,
Well, that's all the time we have for Georgia and Avery, so I'm going to have to thank you two for coming to the show.
Thank you.
And to thank you, me and the boys got you a gift.
Oh
Oh my God, you have to guess anything.
If we can get up close on this, we got a very enlightening read about Vladimir Putin.
Oh my God.
To share?
So yeah, this is to
We
share.
live together so we can take
It's a
turns.
coffee table magazine.
Awesome. Thank
But
you.
thank you, the audience, for watching and for joining us and watching this episode of One on One: The Hugh Effect. You stay classy, San Diego, and I'll see you later.
Thank you.